Hi. I think back to 8 years ago, starting my first job when I was in high school as a freshman. It was a food service job. It was fairly straightforward. You did the work, they paid you. That was it. These days, I work for a company that's a little bit more appreciative of the work that I do. And the paycheck that I have is more of just a bonus because I love what I do. Everything that I do is great, and I think that it's fantastic. Now, what's the biggest difference there? And it has nothing to do with me hating food service. I actually really liked food service. I did it for a very long number of years. And the difference was the style of leadership. One job needed a warm body to work for them, while my current job wants me to be there, appreciates my work, and they want to see me grow just as much as I want to see the company grow. And the difference is is called transactional leadership, which is the idea that you do work and then you get a paycheck and then that's how it works. And then the other one would be transformational leadership, which is where you agree with what the company believes in and they agree in helping you grow. So transactional leadership is what causes people to be so terrified of work these days. It's the reason why people don't want to go. They think it's just a transaction where it's just another thing where you have to put in the hours and get the paycheck, otherwise you don't get to survive throughout the week. So the problem is that most relationships between supervisors and their employees are quite different today. Few managers depend mainly on their legitimate power or their coercive power to persuade people to do as they're told. Rather, managers engage in a transaction with their employees. They explain what is required of them and what compensation they will receive if they fulfill these requirements as according to base. Because transformational leadership is not as popular these days, people will work directly for commission without any salary or anything else, and they're just told, if you don't sell this product, I will not pay you. And people accept those kinds of positions because they think, oh, well, it's okay because it's a transaction. It's the same way that, like, if I walk into a restaurant and I say to them, I want to have your food, but I will give you money first, it's a transaction. And in that same way, Burns viewed the transformational leader as one who engaged with others in a way that the leader and the follower raise one another to a higher level of motivation and morality. And so the idea there is that we are working together to accomplish a common goal, and we're not doing this because it's a forced transaction. Now, why would anybody want to share this kind of a relationship with their boss? Why would anybody want to walk into work every day and feel like it's just another transaction where you're paying in and you're getting out? The cause is because the transactional transformational paradigm views leadership as either a matter of contingent reinforcement of followers by a transactional leader, or the moving of followers beyond their self-interest for the good of the group, organization, or society by a transformational leader. Now you see, it's a lot easier to be a transactional leader in that sense, because a transformational leader has to be able to get people to want to follow them and to get them to want to do what they want them to do. Whereas a transactional leader simply has to have something to motivate them, what motivates everybody? Money. So Cal and Kubrin and Philip and Lewis describe relationship based on exchanges for mutual gain. And that's basically the definition of what a transactional leadership paradigm is, where there's a mutual gain either from both sides or just from one side, and that's the transaction, is the mutual gain. Relationship built on nothing more than what someone else can do for you are considered abusive in a real-life relationship. So why would somebody walk into work and do the exact same thing day after day, 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, whatever it may be? Why would you put yourself in that position if you wouldn't even do it for a significant other? So how can we move forward towards a beneficial relationship that rewards people for treating them like dogs when they are just good? How do we move past that? When people are treated like, I'm going to treat you whenever you're good, whenever you sit and you stay and you do as I tell you. The solution is the validity of transformational leadership seems to generalize across many situations, including what is studied in rigorous settings. And that's the answer right there. It has been studied, and it has been seen that in any setting that requires leadership, you will see that transformational leadership is far more effective than transactional leadership. Now, how do we do that? We have to educate people. We have to teach people how to be transformational, how to communicate on a higher level, and how to reach people on a deeper meaning than rather just, this is a transaction every day of their lives. So the solution is simple, but the human problem is not. In summary, the transactional leadership is too much of a strain for performance on both sides, and it creates an imbalance in the workplace where people feel as if everything is just a transaction, as if it was just a grocery store or a fast food restaurant, just the same as everything else. Whereas a transformational leadership is something that will lead you to grow, and to grow a company, and to grow a world, and to create a better place, just in the sense that everybody wants to do what they need to do. So the call to action would be, when adapting to a point of leadership, do not simply ask your employees to do as they are told, but make sure that they understand why you do it and why they should do it too.